when you see the aquaculture pattern in India, generally there is a huge gap between water table and the per capita availability. Due to urbanization, we are unable to use those because due to water scarcity problem, there is a water availability is very less. But when it comes to the aquaculture, agriculture and allied sector, so agriculture is our primary sector. So ultimately, whatever the water is available for irrigation, so it can be utilized for agriculture. But the tail end, where is the tail end area is aquaculture. The whatever drains come from drainage or the rivers or whatever drain, and we are utilizing the agriculture let out water, it is utilized for aquaculture in the state. So in the future there is a problem. Now again problem has been started. This year rains are very good, so we are very lucky enough, but next year we don't know. So last 2 years the farmers are facing big shortage of water facilities for aquaculture. And whatever the major dominant freshwater aquaculture area is going on in the Kolleru Lake area in the Krishna Godavari Delta. So this area, it's located in the West Godavari and the border of Krishna district. These two districts they produce 85% of aquaculture production in the state. And there are very innovative farmers. There are very proactive farmers in Andhra Pradesh. They proved the best technology for the carp since last 3 to 4 decades. And not only the culture techniques, they have been developed whatever the practices required for the packaging and transportation. Also, they are behind. Their ideas are very innovative and effective. So, as what I told in the previous slide, that most of the production comes from these two districts only. So, ultimately, the carp farming has evolved is a technical show over last 3 decades in Andhra Pradesh. So, one by one, I will explain you how it is. Before that, we have to know the brief history of the carp culture production in Andhra Pradesh. Earlier, when the Janardhan Reddy was the Prime Minister, so that time aquaculture initiation has been happened during 1976 near the Kolleru region. Then department has started around some ponds. They have started in construction of ponds, 133 ponds around about 2,000 hectares within the state. Then the farmers came up there themselves. In the Kolleru belt area, as per the Ramsar Convention, they have started the construction of 2 to 100 hectares pond operated in the region during the 80s. Then the 90s, when the irrigation, the permission they have got from the department, the irrigation department, that water can be utilized for the aquaculture, then the culture has been slowly expanded to the Nellore, Guntur and Prakasham and East Godavari districts. In 2001, again, it was the major carp production it's gone to peak stage. They are around reached to 90 to 1 lakh. At present, it is having 1 lakh hectare. So this is the culture area of different species in Andhra Pradesh. Always carps, fish culture occupied is the topmost position. Whatever the species come over the year has been introduced, but carp remains. It occupies the first place. Then after fungus culture, around maybe this is the 3-4 year old data, but 10,000 hectare there was a hectare area. It was limited. Then new species which was not introduced by Government of India, but farmers are always there. That's what the AP farmers are always innovators. So whatever the species with the ecological point of view of freshwater bodies concerned in Andhra Pradesh, they are ready to culture the species. They are always invite the ideas. So under Paku also, now they occupied 5,000 hectares nearly. Then Venama in freshwater aquaculture. So that is the ultimate farmer, they want to look for the revenue side. So this species also introduced in the freshwater. Then other species around, they hardly 500 hectares, tilapia and other species. So when you talk about innovation, this is the first kind of innovation. It started in 2008. Before 2008 itself, 2005 to 2008. The reason is the farmers of Andhra Pradesh, they have started culturing of stunted seed. Stunted in the seed in the sense, whenever the seed comes from hatchery, then they raise to fry. From earlier, the stunting period was, this was not, the stage was not there. Directly they used to stock in the natural water bodies. But when the farmer take up this stunting, then ultimately the growth of the fish. Stunting in the sense, you have to make the seed as to become older. If it is the scientific reason behind the stunting is, when as a physiological point of view, the fish become older, then when you are stocking directly, then there is a suppression of natural the growth hormone, so cortisol level will be suppressed. When the fish become older, when it is released into the new environment, then the growth will be faster. That is the reason behind of the stunting. So then ultimately the production level increases to into the higher in the carp culture. So this is the way. The 60 days old rohu seed, the 12 months old seed up to they will rear in the stunting period. So it become as seed only with a limited feed and a feeding ration. And after that, there is another major intervention that they developed the zero size seed. The zero size in the sense, when after stunting, they rear to maximum 200 to 250 to 300 gram size. So that size, again, it called almost second year seed. That's what I told. The first year, the growth may be very slow, but in the second year onwards, whatever calf, they will grow faster. That is the logic behind to develop the seed as the zero size. Then they released into the culture system, and almost, whenever in the country's average production was 2,250 kgs per hectare. But with this intervention, they could achieve 17.5 metric tons hectare per year, because there will be 2 crops per annum, sometimes 3 crops also. These are the not only the developing of stunted seed and 0-point seed, and with this they have reduced the culture period. In the normal traditional culture period, we used to culture the fish almost in a year, but here using of the stunted or 0-point seed yearlings, so culture period has been reduced, the production levels, productivity also increased. Similar way, for the species of Pangas, Paku, Venamai, everything has been standardized by the farmers themselves. And as well as there is a species combination also changed in the culture system. So when the monoculture practices, when there was the introduction of exotic species like Chinese carp, then they have realized that the Chinese carp always not productive on par with our water bodies. But thereafter they have tried with only our indigenous species, Rohu and Katla. So Rohu has a major fish which is cultured, to be cultured. Then apart from that, there is a complementary species. So they had trial and error method. They are adding so many species. Sea bass also, so many farmers have been tried. Then after that, this is the present technologies. In Pangas also, now the farmers are culturing with the Rohu Katla with a 10% combination. Then shrimp culture also along with the carps. Then Venamai culture, it is going on freshwater 100% as well as in the polyculture also. Then Roopchand also being cultured in 100% monoculture, then along with the combination of Indian major carps. Apart from that species, then there is a innovative method to develop the natural food for the fishes. Those earlier days, it is very difficult to adapt there was a technology was not developed. The farmers they developed themselves the adding of the manures. So these are the things when they have been standardized. So to develop the natural food, it will be the cost effective for the farm gate price. So that's what the farmers have been developed for the inputs for this freshwater carp culture. The Pangasius earlier, when it was introduced, they used to prepare some manure, but nowadays it is completely feed-based technology, so it is not as much required. These are the combination of feeds they have been used earlier days. So ultimately, FCR is matters. As higher the FCR, those the cost of production will be increased. So that's what nowadays very innovative things has been came up with the extruded floating feed technology. So the FCR will be 1.3 to 1.5. Then there are so many additives has been added in the farming system. Another thing, the Andhra farmers have been generated the good idea. So off-feeding practices also they have been developed. Off-feeding practices in the sense, so where the commercial feed available, so there is no need of your saving the, means in the sense the culture, you cannot accelerate the feeding. But if in the carp culture, if you save one day, once in a week, so it will affect, it will give a more production, then it will save 20% of the cost of production also. So these are the some data. And always feed is a major obstacle that occupies the 60% in the cost of production. The remaining, then thereafter the medicine also. There are the big problem in the diseases due to seasonalities. Then labor also, there is a big problem in aquaculture they facing. And thereafter carp culture, pangasius has been introduced in the state in the 2008 to 2010. So in the 2011, there was a peak production of pangasius. There was in spite of the market, but it could not be sustained. Thereafter, pangasius has been standardized in the Andhra Pradesh. So there was no feeding during that time. So the farmers have been practiced several methods. Farm-made feeds or cooking the rice, broken rice into their field. They used to feed the pangas. Thereafter, pelleted feed has been evolved. Then the pangasius completely now feed-oriented culture, commercial aquaculture. Then now the present trend is going on the Roopchanda. So this way the farmers always look for the low productive zone. They are stocking this Roopchand with 7,500 numbers per hectare, and they are highly sensitive to DO stress and completely feed based, but is one of the alternative, like there are many commodities nowadays. Venami also practicing freshwater. Sometimes what happens, the stress levels has gone, and especially for carps, the season matters. Whenever the diseases will happen, so they will look forward some alternatives. So in that mode way, they have brought down the species into the culture system. Maybe hopefully NBFGR, they have worked on the species and given the positive report to the government of India, and we are expecting shortly they are going to permit this species. So as far as stocking densities of this Roopchand, if you follow the monoculture, they will stock the 7,600 number, in the 10,000 number per hectare. When it comes to the polyculture, they will stock along with the carps 7,600 numbers only. And another stocking dynamics is some farmers, they are practicing along with the white leg shrimp. The pangasius is farming with the white leg shrimp. So the FCR is almost similar, but the production wise, pangasius production remains same, but somehow some advantage that some productive water can be used for the venami culture. That's what they are trying this. They are practicing this mixed culture. And only thing is, as far as the physiological behavior of this venami, whatever the things, but it requires mostly the brackish water, but it is affecting our freshwater area that farmers also known, but because of their interest and the revenue purpose, they are culturing this kind of practices, but we have to take care of our future generation that it should not be intervene into the inland water bodies. And one of the another major problem that faced by the AP farmers, sucker mouthfish. So as production, we have been surveyed some areas in the Andhra Pradesh that it always reflecting the production of carp yield, because as soon as the carp culture increases, then in the carp production, ultimately the yield of the from the pond, it got reduced. So at the same time, FCR also it affecting the in the carp culture. And to overcome that, there are so many trial and error methods. There are so many companies, they are working on this to eradicate this particular sucker mouthfish. But in a biological interventions, what the farmers has revealed that they are using chitala, Notapteris chitala, to eradicate this sucker mouthfish by adding 150 numbers per hectare in a culture system. So at the same time, the additional revenue also they are getting apart from the carp. And also this is the there is a COVID impact. So this is severely affected the Andhra farmers that maximum from 10 to 20 rupees, beyond that also for venami farmers 40 rupees also there was a reduction in the cost of the farm profit. Ultimately they have come up now, the slowly and slowly farmers are recovering, but there are some of the challenges I will show. These are some of the hatcheries are self-sufficient in the seed production in Andhra Pradesh. And another point innovation is the transportation. So this was also by the farmers only. They themselves generated the idea to how to transport the seed from one place to another place. Oxygen packing, and everything they have been standardized. And apart from culture, they are facing bigger problems are diseases. So these are the economic loss. Always, when we have calculated roughly, there are the 2,000 crores of rupees loss, every year from this sector due to the disease problems, especially the external parasites and the bacterial diseases. But fungus, there are the less mortality, but though there are very prone to the abiotic stresses. So maybe the reason environmental stress and the poor water quality and the organic load and the variable plankton sociology. So these are the different kind of diseases, and based on the season, the fishes are getting affected. So these are some of the challenges. As I discussed, there are so many challenges in the culture point of view. Already the quality of seed is very important. Day by day increasing the input cost of the farmers, and the lack of proper pond management methods also. So water is a big scarcity problem, as I told. Then that's what the farmer unable to exchange the water. If it is available, they are ready to follow the good better management practices. And the limited water availability for water exchange. Recycling and treatment mechanism is not familiar with the farmers because due to the technology the problems. Then the disease outbreaks are common, and limited market centers. This is the big problem. If whatever the schemes are available with the Department of India, the governments, but the if we help to the farmer in the marketing, so ultimately they will come, they can produce, and we can whatever target is given, they can achieve easily. Then at the same time, it is the need of the value-added products and to develop the post-harvest technology. They are yet to be standardized, and the shortage of feed ingredients. And the concern level, the quality seed, then increasing the cost of feed ingredients. Again, the lack of sufficient technical and diagnostic support for the farm-related problems. There are the misuse of pesticides and medicines, including the antibiotic and overstocking and poor farm management. So these are the problems during last 3-4 years the farmers are facing, though they developed some innovations, interventions they have given, but science has been evolved latter years, because as a CFA they have developed Jayanti Rohu, now it is came up GI Scampi. So many things, and the farm also earlier presentation Dr. K.M. Mahanta has given some presentation nutrition. Few technology also have been developed, but the technology we are as a center in Vijayawada, we are reaching to the farmer, but we are unable to cover. But some entrepreneurs, some NGOs, they have to come forward to take this technology to give the farmer for better services. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramesh, and you tried to cover most of the culture practices. Sir, any question answers with reference to this presentation? All right. Now we have the pleasure of founder aquaculture, Koller aquaculture శంకుస్థాపన చేసిన మనిషి, అందరిని నడిపించిన మనిషి, దగ్గరుండి రైతుల్ని రియల్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ అంటే ఏంటో చెప్పగలిగే మనిషి. ఇన్ అడిషన్ టు రమేష్ రాథోడ్ చెప్పిన దానికన్నా కూడా ఫస్ట్ హ్యాండ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషను, వాట్ ఈజ్ రియల్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ చెప్తానన్న మా గురువు గారు డాక్టర్ గోపాలరావు గారిని. అక్కడే కూర్చొని చెప్తారా, ఇక్కడ కుర్చీ చేయమంటారా?
అట్లాగే థ్యాంక్ యూ. యాక్చువల్గా ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో ఫిష్ ఫార్మింగ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అనేది ఇట్ ఈజ్ సంథింగ్ రియల్ ఫ్యాంటాస్టిక్. ఏ స్టేట్ విత్ ఓన్లీ అగ్రికల్చర్. అవర్ ఫార్మర్స్ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఈజ్ ఫిష్. They don't know what is katla, what is rohu, and they don't know what is the fish seed, But they are very innovative, very enterprising, very risky taking nature. High risk they will take. So at that time, as a scientist I entered, of course learned from very great scientists, Ali Kunhi, Jingran, Silas, they were all my teachers. There was a lot of disturbance in the economic nature of the farmers. You won't believe the farmers of Koleru Lake are poorest of the poor. They are suffering the floods. They don't have any money even to rear the fish. And agricultural farmers are suffering because they are at the end point of the canals created by cotton 100 years back. And it is not, they are suffering, they are not getting the rate, they are not getting anything. So when we have entered, everything innovatively we have to do according to the local availability, local ecosystem. First of all, the farmers, when I entered, they were culturing in the fish ponds, stocking 70,000 small fish in 1 acre. And only 2 feet of embankment. Why you are culturing like this? Sir, we don't know what is the fish farming or aquaculture. When it will vanish, we don't know. Nobody is there to tell us. And whatever the fish seed fishermen are telling, we are putting. When I saw the seed, it is Sirena riba. It is not katla, it is not rohu, it is not even Sirenas mrigala. So I told this will grow up to 100 grams within 6 months, very rapid. But after that it won't grow. Yes sir, we are suffering that. So at that time we started, what is the flood affected area, what is the potentiality of the land, what is the carrying capacity of the land. So we started 10 feet, at the embankment so that to protect. Our farmers should get the crop. No, natural calamity should occur. And for every 1 feet of water, we can get 1 ton of fish. If it is 1 feet, we will get only 600 kg. And if it is 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, we can go up to 6,000 kg, 7,000 kg. That was the 200 experiments analyzed from the CFRA composite fish culture. So there the science and the farmers have met, and we told first we will construct the pond 10 feet height. That is the first factor which we are successful. So 6 feet of water, and the farmers are unable to purchase the seed. We told only 1 ton per acre. We'll start with that. And nobody is giving money. Banks are not looking after. So the production cost should be only 5 rupees per kg. 8 rupees we are selling. That is the stage we started. And when we have started with 1,000 stocking density, with species density, species combination, I have the full knowledge of the entire Indian major carp and exotic carp culture, because we were the fellows who brought the Chinese carps. We have bred earlier than Chinese. Please remember, we brought the Chinese carps from Hong Kong, and we bred within 3 years, because in China it matures in 5 years, 7 years. But in our Katak it matured in 3 years. We bred, and there is a lot of halagula. Why Indian scientists have bred Chinese carps? earlier than Chinese. It was a lot of tug-off. We told it matured and we told, so aquaculture head has declared Indian scientists have bred Chinese calves earlier than Chinese. Chinese have become angry and they started working. Okay, that another part I will come. So gradually we have increased the production, and production we started with only rice bran oil cake. So when rice bran is 25 paisa per kg we started, and production cost we have limited 5 rupees, and the way the feed distribution is only spreading. And by that time, I was training my farmers in the disease and, feed supplements. Then one farmer from Kaikaluru and one farmer from Potumaru village, Krishna district, have asked me, sir, you are telling to mix salt to control the diseases, but how to mix it? When we mix it and distribute, it will go into the water. So the farmers innovative have come into my aid. He told, sir, we have the fertilizer bags. We can do with the fertilizer bags, we put the mash feed and the salt and whatever the prophylactic chemicals you say. Yes, start. So we sat in the farm and I told everything has to be consumed by 1 hour, within 1 hour, by a fish, healthy fish. That is the character. So we sat in the pond of Kaikaluru Ramohan Rao, I remember his name, and in Potumaru Mr. Ramu. They both are very, very innovative. We sat in the pond embankment. We observed. First innovative of the farmers is how to distribute, how to save, how to, utilize the entire feed by a fish. Because we are producing the manures, pond fertilization in one way, and, supplementary feeds. The farmer's technology is to give the, bag feeding is a very, very innovative. When we analyzed in the Mangalore Fisheries College help, it has increased the entire efficiency of the fish culture in our area. Nothing is wasted. And our fish are, they are sucking. So we put the small holes and within a 1 week, within a 1 hour, they consumed. So entire, either therapeutic medicines or a prophylactic medicines, they are going into the body of the fish. First. Second thing, you see, the farmers, when we are telling cattle dung, manuring and all that, you see, we are the first in India in poultry. Andhra is first. Egg production is first. So poultry manure is a problem. The farmers from Tanku area and all, they came to me, sir, we want to utilize the poultry manure because we are unable to live in our villages. Either in Tamil Nadu, now this is a problem, fly. Every village every house is suffering. So immediately we take a ICR project and what is the, manuring dosage and we stock. Then I told the farmers how to use this. Sir, we will distribute. How to get it? They are already 1,000 young persons. They are already collecting. They are selling. They are reaching to all the farmers. We have a cattle dung. Cattle became a very poor, cattle are not available for us, cattle manure. So we developed with the poultry manure with the suggestion of the farmers. That is another innovative. And the production has increased. From 1 ton we came to 3 tons and 4 tons. Then another thing, most innovative, marketing. You see, why Andhra became the scientist or a farmer or an entrepreneur it is all a mutual, correlative and complementary work. It is not a single person's work. But the sufferer or a gainer is a farmer. So I have a full knowledge of a Howrah market. I was in CFRI. We were collecting pituitary glands. I was fish breeder. So I was seeing what is the marketing pattern and all that. And in Howrah market, very big and very, controlled market. The fish are brought, it is counted, and by the evening they are giving the check. So I told my farmers, you see, we will take market to the Howrah market because market is, potentiality is very, very high. 20,000 tons they can sell in a day at that time. How to take? You see, when we approached the railway, they told, no, we cannot give the crates. So then I went to the chairman of Communist Party of India, Marxist. Luckily, he was Andhra, Makineni Basapone Garu. And his son is a doctor, very famous doctor. He is a friend of mine. He brought in Jyoti Basu's house. I told, now we will meet your father and we will go to the Jyoti Basu's in Calcutta. Then we will talk. Then we informed as a chairman means he is the president of, just like a very, whatever he says, that is goes on. So we told, sir, we want to meet Jyoti Basu. We want a appointment. Arey Baba, there is no appointment. You can go any time to his house, any time to the office. I told, okay, sir. Then I taken his son, went to the Jyoti Basu's house. He was the chief minister of West Bengal. We told him, sir, every day 20 to 30 tons, 30 trucks of fish load will come from Andhra Pradesh. You have to give us the queue line to enter. We don't know, we cannot fight with the local markets. But our fish are very liked, very good, and we will supply every day. And we can supply the fish to the Bengal at any rate you fix. We want more than 10 rupees. You wonder, 10 rupees mein hum leke jate the, and he was so impressed. He told, yes, I am giving the Marxist, persons to give you. You maintain a queue. Whoever comes first, they will. Either whatever, the entire country's fish used to come. So they liked the fish, and first thing, you see, at that time, fish are packed in ice in bamboo mats. By the time fish goes, it is third day or fourth day, decay is there. So we went to and the innovation comes when road transport, that is all done by the farmers. And another thing, styrofoam.
5 minutes lunch చేసుకుని ఈవినింగ్ మాట్లాడుకుందాం.
Right. Okay, very good. So it is, so we developed the transport system by road transport, and every day 70 to 80 truckloads goes into the market. Now from Howrah, we have spread into 250 markets in all over India, except Kashmir. We are unable to go to Kashmir, but up to Arunachal Pradesh and entire northeastern, it is the farmers. So 200 main markets are fish sold entire India. That is done by the farmer. That is the greatest innovation of transport, marketing, is because the scientists, we were finding, we stop in one way, either agronomy or a pathology or a physiology or a nutrition or a what we have done here, everything holistic. If myself or my colleague Dr. Ramkrishna or my, they have to deal everything. We have to deal with the fertilizers, we have to deal with the quality control, we have to deal with the nutrition, we have to deal with the diseases, identification at this spot. If we cannot say, we don't know, because they lose the First thing, reliability of a scientist. Scientists are back, workers are farmers. And by the time, even with poultry manures, we have created 5,000 employees. With feeds and fertilizers and fish seed transport and all that, more than 40 lakh employment we have created. So that is the greatness of the farmers. They themselves are doing everything. Only we have to tell them from the background. If suppose a farmer, I will tell you, a oxytetracycline we can give. We used to test, then we used to tell a farmer in the morning, by evening I have to get a report. So the entire thing is innovations and expansion with the help of these scientists, with the help of the entrepreneurs, with the help the farmers have taken it into this. Even we were exporting the fish also, Indian major crops, to England. One day we told to our farmers from Telangana, you see the rohu we can sell as Padma rohu. Such a good quality. Bengalis in England, they were so liked, so our fish are going to England. From here to Bangladesh, Bangladesh to England. So even marketing is a very, very enterprising thing developed by the farmers. So now there is a lot of, expansion of the production. Every month we used to sit, at least 400 meetings were there, and we used to sit and discuss how much time fish culture will remain. I told 10 years. Then I used to tell 20 years. And we have forecast up to 2050. Then they were putting the money. And as my friend is suggesting, I will tell you in the evening session how we have developed the finances to the farmers. Because our farmers are very good, so farmers are innovative, and we have worked out. So the entire thing is a farmer's innovative, no doubt. But behind that, lot of work is there in the feed pellet preparation and nutrition and disease management. So the principle is, it is again a Chinese principle. What a Chinese principle is, the scientists have to live with the farmer. We have to work with the farmer. That is it. Okay? Thank you. These are the important things, outlines I have told. Many things we will discuss in the evening. Okay? And thank you.
Now we will break for lunch. We will meet again at 2:15 for post-lunch sessions. Request all of you to go for lunch and come back. అందరూ భోంచేసి 2:15 మళ్ళీ మొదలు పెడదాం. దయచేసి అందరూ భోజనానికి రావాల్సిందిగా కోరుతున్నాం.